Okay. Yeah, so what's the report name?
XXV. XXV.
Okay.
XXV. Like I'm just using that.
AP
GL balance report.
GL.
AP.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Ledger ID. Okay. Period name.
Jan first. Like Jan 16.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it is taking template, right? So there is no issue with the template.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, it is taking time, so it means it is having data. Okay. Fine. So diagnostics. So what you do is in this one, if you see, we are not getting the output. It means that there could be some issue with our data model, isn't it? So if you see, click on diagnostics, and click on view XML and check out the parameters. It's not showing any parameters.
Yes.
It is not showing any parameters. So did you attach data model? You have not attached the
Yes.
data model.
I think attached it.
So this is a report. Now copy this one here. Now check out the data model. You have not attached the data model. Data
I
template I'm
didn't.
saying. Data template.
Plus, I followed all the pattern that you have said. Like, otherwise,
Data,
I just forgot. I think so. Like, I did it for sure. I did it.
yeah,
If not, I have given some other wrong name. I think. So. Otherwise,
let's see. Where is the data template?
okay.
So that's the reason it is not giving any output.
Okay. Okay, then I will do it again.
Yeah.
I will attach it. The other two I get it, but this one I forgot. I think I forgot to attach the data template.
So see, like when you are dealing with XML reports, always check the diagnostics. Click on diagnostics and click on view
Okay.
XML. So based on this, we'll get lot number of clues. Like if at all, if you see, I mean, it's like why I said that data model is not attached, because when I see the XML, it is not showing the parameter name. So it means that like you have not designed the XML, which is considering the parameter as an input and providing the output. So by this itself, we can easily understand that.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. Now the next concept what we would like to discuss is, so in XML reports also, like we have something called triggers. The way we have triggers in the RDF reports, right? In the XML reports also we have triggers. So the usage of these triggers, generally we use it when like when you want to call any PL SQL program at runtime during a particular what you say event, like nothing but before generating the data, you would like to call some particular API, and like if you want to do some validation or maybe you want to get some functions, something like that. In those kind of scenarios, we use a trigger. Okay, so one of the majorly used scenario why we use triggers in the XML report is like whenever we want to populate nothing but insert data into a global temporary table. So sometimes what happens is we could not design a single query, and because of that, what we do is we'll consider parameters and we'll simply call the PL SQL API that will populate the data into the global temporary table, and simply you just use that particular temporary table to display the data in the output. So do you know what is global temporary table? Or
No, I didn't know.
so if you consider the normal database table, so normal database table, the data will persist even when you come out of the session.
Okay.
right? Nothing but like once you log out of the database, the data in the database table will persist throughout your database until unless your database is purged. Your data in the table will get persist, right? But coming
Okay.
to the GTT, the data will get persist only for that particular session. Nothing but
Okay.
let us say now you just insert the data and you commit it. Yep, data will be there. If you log out and if you log in again, you'll not see the data.
Okay.
Okay, that is called global temporary table.
Okay.
That's the only difference.
Okay.
Okay. So the syntax for this one is this is how we do it. Create global temporary table. This is extra thing you have to mention. Create global temporary. This is what you have to mention extra. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll just do one sample on this today. So which module we use? Did we worked on balances? We worked on ledger also, right? GL
Yes.
generals also we worked on, and purchase order we worked on.
Yes. We worked on purchase orders, AP, ER,
Mm,
GL.
mm. Okay, so I'll show you one more table. There's something called BOM, bill of materials. This is related to inventory, okay? Supply chain management.
Okay.
And now this BOM bill of materials, and there is one more table called BOM bill of components. This is related to supply chain management. BOM, what is that table? Okay, this is just a BOM components.
Mm.
No, this is not the one. Yeah, BOM inventory components, I guess. Yeah, this one. Not even the operation sequence number, component item ID. Yeah. Okay, so we just have these two tables, okay?
Okay.
Now what we want to consider is, so BOM bill of material is a parent and bill of BOM inventory component is a child,
Okay.
okay? Mm, There are a lot number of things to consider, but I'm just skipping the other functionality, okay? So now what we do is, this may more confusion, I guess. Okay, let's consider only this one, BOM bill of materials, okay? So now what we want to do is, so user will provide the organization ID. User will provide the organization ID, inventory ID, I mean to say. There's a difference between inventory and operating unit, right? Remember, or that's the difference between inventory and operating unit, isn't it?
Okay.
Business group, legal entity, ledger, OU, and then you'll have an inventory and sub-inventory. Legal entity, ledger, and OU are the first level. Then you'll have inventory and sub-inventory. So the inventory is mostly considered to your warehouse stuff. Like you will have item stuff, right? Wherever when you
Mm.
say item, this all belongs to inventory. And whenever
Okay.
you have any AR, AP, GL, any transaction, this always at OU level. It will not be at inventory level. You'll not have any inventory ID there. Whenever, if you see any of the AP, AR, GL tables, or even sales order table, you'll just have OU there, organization ID there, org ID there. But whenever you
Okay.
consider item, you'll always have organization ID, which is a inventory stuff.
Okay.
Okay, this clarity you should have it. Mhm. Yeah. Any other table? Sales order, did you deal? Sales order?
No.
No, right? Sales order we never dealt. Let's have sales order then.
Okay.
Let us say OE order, headers all, OE order, headers all is a sales order headers table. Okay. And for this one, if you can you see your org ID? This org ID is nothing but your OU ID. Okay.
Okay.
OE lines all. This is a lines table. OE order lines all. This is lines table. Fine. So assume that we'd like to design a group report and we would like to use a temporary table approach. Okay.
Okay.
Now Now what we do is, why are we going with temporary table approach? Because assume that like you have very complex logic to be designed and you could not write a query for that. So rather than that, you want to write your own custom logic for that. Nothing but like you want to insert the data into temporary table and that data you want to display in the output. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So now, first of all, let's build the query. User will provide the organization ID and header ID. Okay. So now OH order number and okay, that's what from here, and then lines table. Okay, so now this one, what we have, line type. I'll just have line number.
Okay.
OL dot okay,
Okay.
order quantity and anything more. This fine. That's very yeah. This column should be fine. Okay, and we'll also have org ID. Okay.
Okay.
Now this is our query, and what we do is we'll create a temporary table which will have these how many columns? 7 columns.
Okay.
Okay. So this is syntax. XXCE sales order GTT. Okay.
Okay.
Header ID.
Order number. 100.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is a table. Now, if you see the data here, so there is no data as of now. Okay. Now the same way we'll create a package. We'll create a package, and
Okay.
what we do is Okay, so the parameters, yeah, let us say create or replace package sales order is. So now we want to create a package which will populate the data. Okay, so here the basic thing is like when you're dealing with a XML report and you want to have a like when you want to call a package when a trigger occurs, you need to call a function. So we have to create a function. Okay, and
Okay.
I'll just say, so the function name generally some developers always name it as before report and some developers will have their own name. So you can either mention the function name as before report like this, or you can just have any name also. Both ways it will work.
Okay.
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 So return boolean. So this is the first thing. And also you need to mention the parameters. So what parameters you require? P underscore org ID, which is a number, and P underscore header ID, which is a number. So these particular parameters should be global parameters, which should be declared in the package. So this is our package and this is our package body. So in the package body, this is skeleton of our package body is begin end. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just return true as of now. Okay. Save the body. Okay. Now this package specification, just call this one. That's it. And here also execute this one. Yep. Perfect. Now what is the next task? We need to insert the data from the query to the GTT. So what is our query? So this is our query,
Okay.
right? So there are many ways of dealing it. So I'll just prefer cursor c underscore sales data is mention this query and now mention the columns oh dot org underscore id is equal to p underscore org id and oh dot header id is equal to p underscore header id, right?
Okay.
So we mentioned the parameters in the cursor. Now what's next?
Here we don't need to use the column and all.
Colon is not required here.
Okay.
Yeah. So for r in reckon this one loop and end loop. That's it. Okay. Now we need to mention the insert statement. So here, where is our this one? So these are the parameters we require. We have it, right? So just format it. So these are table name. Insert into, right?
Okay.
Okay. So we have these columns here, right? These are the columns.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just mention here. These are the columns. Now we have to mention values, right? So we have the same set of columns in the query also. So I just mention rec dot this column name.
Okay.
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 And then after this, perform commit. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Now we have the data in this particular GTT. So what we have to do? Let us design our data model XML file. Okay.
Okay.
So from the scratch, it is very difficult to design the data model XML. What we do, we'll try to use the existing data model and just replace that accordingly. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just rename XXCV sales order. Now here, default template name, data template name, this one. And what is our report name?
Six, seven.
Sales order report. And now what is the package name? This is our package name, right? So here we have to mention package name. And then
Okay.
we have to mention the input parameters, p underscore org id, p underscore header id. And
Okay.
then we have to mention our table name. So what's our table name? This is our table name, right?
Yes. Yes.
So let's start from this one. Better, rather than mentioning star, it is always preferable to mention the column names.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just mention my column names here this way. So there is no we are not passing any parameter to GTT because GTT will always have only that particular session related data. So there
Okay.
is no need to pass any parameter to the GTT.
Okay.
And now this is our package name. So in the before report trigger, what you have to do, you have to mention the package name followed by the function, this particular function before report. And now
Okay.
here I already mentioned the global parameters, right? So I does not need to explicitly pass here. We already just mentioned those particular parameters as global, so automatically that will get referred in the function.
Okay.
There is no need to
Okay.
mention this. Okay.
Okay.
Now here g underscore sales data. Uh, mention these details now.
Okay. On the column letter.
Line number, order quantity UOM. Okay.
No login.
Yeah, org ID actually is not required, but fine. Yeah, this is our data model structure. Okay. Now we need to design the template, but we'll design the template once we have the XML data in hand. Okay.
Okay.
Clear so far?
Yes.
Okay. So now
So,
go to concurrent program.
so we are using the already existing XML file and modifying it, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Because we cannot write it from scratch. That's for sure. We
Okay.
cannot write it from scratch. So we just always need to use the existing one and then update it accordingly. Because there is no tool available for that from the Oracle. So we just need to use whatever.
Already. Number. Enter already. Enter ready.
Okay. So we'll make both of them as required. Go to system administrator. Okay.
Okay.
This is our data model. Go to data definition. Create data definition. Okay. Apply data template. And sales order. data model XML.
Okay.
So it's saying that there is invalid. The file should be in XML data template. So check out why it is invalid. So whenever you get this kind of issue, what you do is open the browser and check
Okay.
out why it is showing the error. Right. So it says line number 33 it is having issue. So go to line number 33. Yeah. So the issue is this.
Triangle bracket.
Yeah, the same issue which we faced earlier. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Data model XML apply. Now what's next? We can just simply run the report, right?
Yes.
Require org ID 204. The value set which we attached is wrong, so remove that.
Well, okay. 10% number.
It is trying to validate its entry is a
Well, the entry is the number.
it's a number, but that's fine. We'll try to use this one. Okay.
Mhm.
204, and so we'll try to get the trace data. Let us say oh.org underscore ID is equal to 204, and take any header ID. I'll just take this one.
Mhm.
Submit. Now we'll get our XML data. And click on Diagnostics. If you see here, it is not showing anything, right? Click on
Yes.
Diagnostics and view XML is not there, and click on View Output. Yeah, in the View Output you have it, right? So save as, and this one what we do, CV sales order data.xml. Okay. Now this is our
Okay.
sales order XML data, and then what we can do, we can just create our RTF template.
Mm. Sales order template RTF file. Save. Need to add add-ins. Add-ins. So add-ins go. Okay. Add-ins data load XML data.
Okay.
Successfully.
So now
Means
what we do is we'll try to do either way, like whenever you know the group by logic, right? Like last time we have done.
yes.
So either we can do it.
Just table result. Yes.
So I'll just say group by order number.
Okay. Yes.
That's it. Okay.
Okay.
So now we can, why I group by, because generally like a header ID, they'll try to display in a very bigger font saying that this is a header ID kind of thing.
Okay.
Sales order number. Okay.
Okay.
The remaining is okay. I'll just ignore. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Okay.
And now for this date it is showing in this particular total timestamp, right? What you do is click on this date, and here,
Test format. Like,
yeah, not that one, right? This one. Okay. Type as
date.
date and date format. Just select what format you would like to display. So it all depends on the client requirement. You can choose the appropriate one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Now here, once I change the date, it is showing empty kind of thing, right? So here it is not showing any column name, right? Just click on this one. And why it went out? Because uh, default date, right? So this one here, it is missing this default date stuff. Anyway, it is not required, okay? But
Okay.
like for a developer, if you want to know what exactly which column it is referring to, what you do is copy your column name, just mention here.
Okay.
Not that one, sorry.
Can we give anything, any other name, or we want to give the particular column name? Or
Now column name, see if you see for other columns here, can you see default text?
yes.
Default text, it's a like whatever the column name you have, generally by default it will show that. So in our case
Yes.
here also, when I mention
But
this
we have
one,
to.
it has to show that. But
Okay.
yeah, it's fine. You can ignore that.
Okay.
It is not constrained, okay? Anyway, but that's how it is, okay? So now
Okay.
what's next? Create a template. So
Create template. XSL sorter template. Template. Application object library. So have you given the, like, we need to give the data definition as DD, right?
yeah,
XML.
no, I have not given underscore
You
DT. I
have not
forgot
given.
that. I
Okay.
forgot.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
generally, if you mention any, let us say, if you see here,
Okay.
if you mention invalid data definition, it will not even accept it. So while
Okay.
saving it, it will ask. I mean, it will raise an issue. Let us say if I mention underscore DD like this, just try to click on apply. So it will give an issue. Can you see?
Okay.
So we cannot mention any invalid name. It will always validate the logic.
Okay.
Yeah, TF.
Data model XML file is used to create the data definition. And the RTF file is used to create the template.
Yeah,
And the XML data that we get from the report is used to create the RTF file.
yeah.
Okay. Just three.
Yeah, the only difference in this logic, what we have done is using the GTT. That's the only thing which we use differently. Remaining thing is just as it is, same.
Okay. Once we log out from the session, it will not get the data, right?
Yeah, like now I'll show you that logic also. See,
Okay.
I'll finish this one. I'll show you how GTT is working on. Okay.
Okay.
So now we are getting the only the data for which we have passed, right? We are not getting all the data, isn't it?
Yes.
Exact. Now, let us say, so this is our table, right? Now assume that I'll just say insert into this table, header ID. I just inserted only one column here, okay?
Okay.
Now one row inserted it says, and I'll just perform commit also. Okay.
Okay.
Now we'll have the data. We'll have one record with only one column having value, right?
Okay.
Okay. Remaining things are null. Now what I will do is I'll end the session. I will end the session. Right click here, disconnect. Now the session got exited. Now what I will do, I'll recreate. I will connect to the database again and check the data whether you have the data here or not. In this table, check this
Okay.
one. You will not have data, right?
Yes.
That is a
Okay.
difference. That's called GTT, Global
Okay.
Template Table. Only when you are in the session, data will be there, and once you lose the session, data, whatever data is there, that will get purged automatically.
Okay.
Okay, so these kind of table will be preferred when you want to build a complex logic, and where you could not write a single query for that. You require a PL SQL help, and using PL SQL logic, you want to insert the rows manually into that. Then we'll use this kind of logic.
Okay.
Okay, clear?
Okay. Then. Clear.
Yeah, so we'll stop here. Next session we'll discuss about two concepts, very much important topics. They are bursting report, and there's something called pivot report.
Okay.
We also call it as XSLFO reports. Okay,
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, okay then.
Yeah. Have a good